Hi guys, welcome back to my channel The Fulfilment. I am Asik Iqbal Mondol. Today I am going to focus on how to write a critical appreciation. Maybe it of a poem or a drama or a novel or a short story or an essay. So the students will be benefited if they watch this full video. I have discussed various steps for writing critical appreciation. So my dear students, don't skip, watch the full video. And the students who have come for the first time, I request them, please subscribe this channel, The Fulfilment. Let's go to know how to write critical appreciation. First of all, you should have to know that critical appreciation is not criticizing. So what is critical appreciation? Critical appreciation is in fact critical study. Please look at the whiteboard. What I have written, critical appreciation, it is not criticism, okay? It is more a critical reading. The critical reading may be of poetry, maybe of drama, maybe of novel, maybe of short story or an essay. But the university very often sets the question on poetry. As for example, write a critical note on Ode to a Nightingale, or write a critical appreciation on the sonnet One Day I Wrote Her Name by Spenser. Such types of questions are framed by the university for the English honors students or the students of literature. But today I will focus mainly on how to write critical appreciation on poetry. So critical appreciation is more a critical reading. What should be done for critical reading? Look at the whiteboard. Critical reading involves these items. Meaning of the words. For critical analysis, you should have to understand the meaning of the words of the writing, rhyme, scheme, speaker, literary device or figures of speech, intertextuality, language and style, genre, context, tone. So, you should learn all this. Then you will proceed to write critical appreciation. So critical appreciation is nothing but a review of the text of the literary work. Okay? Now my dear students, let's go to know how to write the critical appreciation. Because we have already read the literary text critically and now we are ready to write critical appreciation. Okay? There are 5 steps, I think, to write critical appreciation. Though there is no format for writing critical appreciation, there is no framework to write critical appreciation, but it should be written in a logical way. I think it should be presented through 5 steps. First of all, you should have to write introduction, the very beginning of the critical appreciation. What should be written in the introduction? Poet or author. Author may be novelist, may be dramatist, may be short story writer or maybe an essayist. Time of writing or the poet or author. Okay. So the time of composition of the literary work should be written in the introduction. The poet's period, that is, in which historical period of literature he was belonged, you have to focus on that point. And thirdly, you should have to write background. Okay. So in introduction, you should have to mention the poet or author, time of writing, or the poet or author's period. Okay, and you should have to write background. If I give you an example, this idea will be very clear. As for example, you were writing the critical appreciation of One Day I Wrote Her Name by Edmund Spenser. So first of all, you should have to write introduction that this sonnet is written by Edmund Spenser. He was a poet of the Elizabethan period, etc. And you have to write the background of the sonnet, that is, how the sonnet writing came from Italy and France to England, and how it was developed in the hands of the sonneteers of England, and how it came through the writings of Watt and Surrey. Then you should have to focus how it was individualized by Edmund Spenser. So all these informative notes should be written in the introduction of critical appreciation. Okay. Next, in the second paragraph, you should have to write salient features of the literary work. For the poem, you should have to write the salient features of that poem. For the drama or other literary types of text, you should have to write the salient features also. As for example, if you write a critical appreciation on Macbeth by Shakespeare, you should have to write the salient features that Macbeth is the study of evil forces. Macbeth is the presentation of symbols and images. There is the role of the supernaturals. Macbeth is the study of characters like Macbeth and Lady Macbeth. Macbeth is a unique drama of using dramatic irony, use of soliloquies. All these are the salient features. So you should have to focus in this way. If it is a short story or a novel, you should have to write the salient features. Okay. And now, after writing this, you should go to write the third paragraph. Before going to third paragraph, I am giving an example how to write salient features of a poem. As for example, One Day I Wrote Her Name. I will write what? I will write that it is a sonnet. There is the dramatic quality, the conceit of immortality through poetry is presented in the poem, etc. So these are the salient features. Okay. Now, third paragraph, that is summary and inner meaning. You should have to write the summary and the inner meaning of the literary text, maybe poetry, maybe drama, maybe short story. Okay. And if there are images and symbols, you should have to focus. You should have to explain the meaning of the images and symbols also. So all these should be written in the third paragraph, that is summary and inner meaning. Am I clear? Next, that is the fourth paragraph. Style. Every writing has a style. For poetry, there is also a unique style of the poet, and you should have to focus on that style. A style involves what? Grammar, sentence construction, figures of speech. In poetry, there should be many figures of speech, that is use of rhetoric, and you should have to focus on that. Genre, what type of literary work it is. Is it a sonnet? Is it an ode? Is it a pastoral? Is it a lyric poem? Etc. You should have to focus. Tone. What is the tone of the literary text? As for example, if I write on one day I wrote her name, you should have to write that the tone is very dramatic. Okay. Form. Form means that is a structural form. Is it Petrarchan sonnet or is it a sonnet of the English tradition? You should have to focus on that to write critical appreciation on one day I wrote her name. What is the individuality of Spencer as a sonneter? You should have to focus that. Rhyme scheme, and you know that for the writing of critical appreciation on a poem, you should have to write rhyme scheme. Okay, as for example, A B C D C D etc. You know how to write this. And at last, you should have to write conclusion. That what you have learned in total, after going through the text, after reading it, etc., after reading critically, now you should have to focus very shortly on what you have learned. Okay? Or what the author or poet has focused critically. And this should be written in a short form. So these are the 5 steps to write critical appreciation. And most of the universities, they frame questions on poetry. That is, write a critical appreciation on any poem. Okay? So my dear students, I think you have understood today's lesson. If you enjoy this class, please like it, share with your friends, and those who have come for the first time, I request them to subscribe this channel, because I very often upload videos on English literature, language and motivation. I try to cover the syllabus of English honors and masters of various universities. So my dear students, if you follow my channel, you will be benefited. That's why I request you to subscribe this channel and press the bell button so that you can get the notification when I will upload new videos on literature, language and motivation. All the best for you. Thanks a lot.